What's going on, guys? We just got CleanSpark's earnings. I'm gonna go over that, and then in a little bit here I'm gonna give you guys a cleaned up edited version of their call. But by the time you watch this video, if you've already heard the call, listened to the Q&A, you know, all that good stuff, let me know what you think about it. I'm sure there's a lot of useful little tidbits of information there, but let's look over this recent news and go over a couple things. Now, I'll leave you the link down below to this as well as their earnings call webcast, and later on I'll put in the description my cleaned up edited version of their earnings call. But what we saw here is CleanSpark just reported their quarterly earnings, their revenue of 27.8 million. It's almost in line with what was expected. What was expected was right around 28, so just slightly under, but it's good to not see it, you know, far under the expected revenue this time. The last couple of quarters we've seen them, you know, come in with less revenue than expected. And I wanted to bring you down here to what some of the chief officers said. Now, the CEO, Zach Bradford, said, "We have reliably grown quarter over quarter as we execute an operational strategy that we believe makes us one of the fastest growing, most reliable, and most efficient publicly traded Bitcoin miners in North America. While we faced headwinds due to depressed Bitcoin prices during most of our fiscal first quarter, we persisted and grew. Our average hash rate rapidly increased, outpacing global hash rate as we mined the most Bitcoin ever in a single quarter. Last month," now this is the month that wasn't in this earnings, but last month we had our highest monthly production ever at nearly 700 Bitcoin. We are starting to see all the hard work we put in during our last quarter pay off, and we expect to continue to deliver on our goals as we work toward our calendar year end guidance of 16 exahash. So there you have it. They still do expect 16 exahash by the end of the year, and that is good news. Now, we've definitely got a bit of a mixed bag here because their year over year numbers, as you know, Bitcoin went into a huge bear market over most of 2022, and that definitely affected some of their numbers. Now, revenue for the first quarter, as I said earlier, was 27.8 million, which is a decrease of 9.3 million, or 25% from 37 million from the same prior year period. So the same time last year, same quarter. Now, they did realize a net loss. This company is still not profitable. We didn't really expect profitability yet here, but I do expect it towards the end of the year, especially as Bitcoin goes up in price. Now, their loss was 29 million compared to a net income of 14.5 million for the same prior year period. So when they were pulling in right around 37 million, they were making a profit on that quarter at least. As we know though, their operating expenses has grown up quite a bit, but I do expect they'll be profitable once they have quarters that are right around 50 million, a little above that. But their EBITDA, or earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization, look at it as earnings without all the extra things attached to it, decreased to 1.4 million compared to an adjusted EBITDA of 25.1 million from the same prior year. So year over year, we did see some negativity here, but big surprise, Bitcoin's price is substantially lower than it was 1 year from now. A positive though is the company did see sequential revenues, meaning quarter over quarter increase in the first quarter of fiscal 2023. This is based on 2022, but it is their fiscal first quarter. Hopefully that makes sense to you. They did see a sequential revenue increase compared to the quarter ended in September 30 of 2022, which was the previous quarter reported. Now, revenues increased by 1.6 million, not a whole lot, but as you've seen, Bitcoin has been slowly trending up. They have been increasing their exahash, and we did have a fantastic January Bitcoin mining update. Hopefully, as the months progress, we continue to see that, and we will definitely see an increase in revenue. Now, the fiscal 2022 fourth quarter, we're going back again to that September quarter. The net loss actually decreased from that quarter, which is good news. However, their EBITDA was a little bit less than the previous quarter. Now, getting into their balance sheet and why it was really important for this company to have a potential dilution plan. And this is mainly especially important if Bitcoin dramatically pulls down in price and they're not able to, sell the Bitcoin that they're mining. But if you look at it, currently they're not profitable. So we do need to see Bitcoin start rising in price and them tightening up that loss. Now, they currently have cash of 2.1 million, Bitcoin of roughly 4 million. And this is based on Bitcoin's price at 17,000. So it's actually a little bit more than that. But current total assets of 21.2 million, total mining assets of 340 million, total assets, meaning their mining assets and Bitcoin and cash, a few other things, is 487 million. And you might ask yourself, why is the market cap so much lower than that? Well, it's because they're not making a profit. So while yes, their assets is much higher than their market cap, Wall Street does see risk here considering their relatively small cash balance, relatively small Bitcoin balance, and the fact that they're not profitable. And as of December 31 of 2022, they did have $6 million in cash and Bitcoin, and their debt totaled 19.6 million, not a whole ton of debt. Now, the company did pay down 1.6 million, or approximately about 8% of that debt in the fourth quarter. And as I said, I will leave this link for you guys so you can listen to their earnings call. It's almost out as of this upload, but I will be listening to it, cutting it up for you guys, editing it, and getting it out there for you in a timely fashion. But looking at CleanSpark, you know, it seems that Wall Street is taking to this news positively. We see that exahash guideline didn't decrease like we heard from last quarter, so that's definitely a positive thing. And you know, the fact that we're seeing a sequential quarter-over-quarter revenue growth, you know, we're off to a decent start. We're off to the right direction. And the fact that January's Bitcoin mining update, I'll leave you a link down below to their last Bitcoin mining update that I go over. You know, the fact that that was a record-breaking Bitcoin mining update, and we're hopefully going to continue to see that, because that Bitcoin mining update, they did sell their Bitcoin right around 19,000 if I remember right. Currently, Bitcoin's right around 22, although it has been pulling back. And I wanted to quickly show you guys something on the chart that I mentioned before. So we did break this level that I mentioned, this 22,003 area, and we are starting to pull back. I personally wouldn't be surprised to see us kind of pull back into this previous consolidation area, right around 20,500. I'd see that as a great time to nibble at some Bitcoin personally, but let me know how you feel about that. But that's it for now, guys. Let me know how you feel about CleanSpark's quarterly earnings. And like I said, if you listened to their call already, fill me in with any juicy bits of information. I am about to listen to it here when I get the chance. But thanks for watching as always, guys, and take it easy.